You, France, Ahab, what? Like Jericho or Jeremiah? Jekko. Was it Jekko? It wasn't France. No, it was like Ahab. Osmos, Hasan, or some other kind of Hasan thing. All right, so no one knows. You're thinking not Swahili, but you're thinking Islam, okay? When you hear Hasan, you can think Islam. So as a dog, I was thrown for a loop, but it didn't really matter. Because what you have to understand is that I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog who was given the power of speech. But you would think that can't turn a dummy into a genius just because he learns to talk. Understand what I'm saying? So I'm perusing the same things everyone else is. It doesn't go in as fast. I only have a dog brain. So I'm behind the times. I'm a little what you call old-fashioned, old school, if only by choice, by some other mechanism. But it's got brain limitation. That's it's a dog. Come on, you know what I'm saying? I am a dog. And I was I was a pretty smart dog. Before I learned to talk even, I was pretty smart. All the other dogs kind of picked on me because they thought I was too smart. But just, whatever. I wasn't big enough to whip all their asses, but whatever. So, Hasan, I want to say a couple things real quick. Just to introduce myself, so to speak. Dogs aren't that intelligent, and they die when they're only 15, 16 years old, okay? Just so something that you know about me as just a dog, I want you to know that you carry a little bit of a grudge when you know you're going to die. You live in 7 years for every 1 year. Me and the human, we spent a year together. We were rocking and rolling. Me and the man, we went running, did all this crap. 1 year later, I was 7, he was 1. I mean, he might have been 2, I was 14. It's not, it's a kind of a raw deal. 15 is old age. You're out and you die, So, but you get dog remembrance. As a counterbalance, I'm letting you in. The thing you get is you don't get to live too long, but you have a long memory past your own life. In foggy memories before you were born, dogs can pass on memories to each other. That was a power they had. I have the power of speech, but yet I still retain the dog remembrance. And I have deep, long way ago dog remembrance. The other thing all dogs get, besides dog remembrance, just so you know who you're talking to over here, dogs know the exact second that they're going to die so they could wander off and peaceably die. They could pick their own ground. They know the exact second. And dogs aren't afraid to die either. So, believe me, it sucks when you only get to live to be 15, 16 years old. Dogs are not afraid to die. Like, I got to die. This is it. I got to pick a good spot. And they go save the last of their energy. They know for weeks and months before they're going to die. Like, holy shit, I'm going to die now. I can't even control myself anymore. That's the same way with the humans do it. But the thing I want to ask you, somebody told me, my producers, your name was Hasan. If it is Hasan, forgive me. That's a horrible name, but if it isn't Hasan, then it's even an insult, but whatever. It's all right. It doesn't matter. So, do you remember, because they said you're like influential, and I've already, told you all about myself, so they said you were like really, and if I needed a favor, they said I could come to you at any point, and I could get a favor if, whatever. So, do you remember when Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny were tunneling underground, they came to a cave, they were treasure hunting, they burst into a cave somehow, they get into a cave with a big, robust gentleman, kind of racially indeterminate, but darker, on the darker side with a goatee, like a little cheesy mustache, I think. He had a turban. He was a big, muscular guy. He had a giant sword, a giant whatever, those kind of swords that were in Arab or Arabia, or whatever it was, Iran, it could be anything, the cradle of civilization. It didn't matter. He said when he was ready to strike to protect the goods, all the gold and the silver and the jewels and the emeralds and the rubies and the diamonds, it was beautiful the way they drew it. He would say a son chop, and he would lay waste and smash the ground, and coins would fly every which way. It was a show of strength, but he was also trying to kill and murder the other guy. And when I heard your name was Hasan, I wanted to look up, hey, I'm just a dog, so it's kind of tough. I have apparatus that the rabbit designed for me. That's another story. The rabbit designed some apparatus that I could use. I could search the internet. It's vicious. It's an exponentially slow process. But the thing is, I can find it out. So I was looking for Hasan Chop on the internet, on Google or Google search or something. And I came across, it doesn't even matter, whatever. Elon Musk was standing there next to Donald Trump in astronaut suits, and they said, you can have this card for $150, and it was guaranteed to go up to $1,000, momentarily. So buy now. I thought, oh my goodness gracious, it doesn't matter. But I was looking for that thing where they would say Hasan Chop, but you then went to Google it, you couldn't find it because it said it was the PC police said it was racially insensitive. And so I couldn't find even on YouTube where they had that guy chopping and he would say Hasan Chop. And he would chop. I just wanted to hook up with that whole vibe, that whole thing, because it was a vivid memory, because this guy wasn't taking no shit from nobody. But I couldn't find it on YouTube because the PC police had cleaned that up. It's like when they cleaned up that thing where Will Ferrell sang some X-rated rap songs right on Saturday Night Live, and he used the N-word a couple times. It was hilarious. Everyone's laughing. All the black people laughed the hardest, but they cleaned it up. You can't find it anymore. You have to get on some kind of Russian situation or some kind of Chinese bullshit. And then you pay with digits. They start chopping things off, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. The one thing I wanted to say, though, before we leave, is dogs could be any kind of variety of dog, but I'm the kind of dog that grew up in a manor house with my oxygen deprivation master, and we had a great life. And just so you know, I'm a black dog. I have a white face, I have a white belly, I have white pads, little like mittens on and a white tip on my tail. It's beautiful. I'm a ravishingly beautiful dog. Everybody knows it. They're all spellbound, man. I have big cow eyes. But I'm a black dog, so I understand everything about everything. So don't worry about it. But the one thing that we're going to say is that if you were going to, crash and burn or just flame out, just get it over with. Don't delay it. And that was the correlation between the dogs know when they're going to die. They walk up into the woods, they pick out a spot under an elm tree or something and say, shit, this is all the energy I can have. This is as far as I'm going. And then they go to sleep forever. It's beautiful.